I'm here with sports legend Billie Jean King, recipient of the Presidential Medal of Freedom. She's won 39 Grand Slam championships, and she helped create women's professional tennis as we know it today. Billie Jean King, thank you very much. I really appreciate you joining me for the interview.
Thank you. It's great to see you.
So we'll get right to it. You co-founded World Team Tennis back in 1974. What changes have you seen over the years?
Well, the reason there's a lot of us that co-founded, so I'm not going to, I'm still probably the only one from that original group that's totally involved in it. So people think of me as like maybe with one other person, like my former husband or something, but there was a lot of us. So I just like to give credit where it's due. And the reason we wanted to start it is we just thought it was important. Tennis is one of the few sports where both men and women are very high profile. Also, I always wanted tennis to be a team sport. This is just personally now. And for instance, I think with children, we should get rid of the word lesson. I think they should be signed to a team just like soccer and basketball and baseball. All the other teams do it if we want to really grow the sport in the United States. I'm not talking about globally, but here in the United States.
Right.
Also, I like the fact that with World Team Tennis, and obviously I'm in Orange County today, I think it's about giving back to the community. Even though our season's short, about 3 weeks, it's important that we have a staff here 365 days a year, and we're always doing things with different things in tennis and outside of tennis, like charity events. We try to be a part of the fabric of the community. And Carrie Schneider's our new general manager. She always worked for the league, and this year we're taking this team over instead of having just an outside consultant do it. And I think that's very important for the future. It's like starting over in a way. We're calling it the Orange County Breakers instead of the Newport Beach Breakers. We are now at Bryn Center, which is indoors. It's basically in the middle, Irvine of Orange County. We want to be covering all of Orange County, not just around the Newport Beach area. We want to make sure that we get all kinds. We're going to have a kids zone this year. I mean, every night we're going to be very family friendly. Also, we're very big on access. We always give like after the match, all the players sit down, and the children, anybody 16 and under, gets an autograph. They run through a line, and we really are big on access and making sure that the kids connect with the players, the fans connect. So access is important. All the different activities are going on. We want families to come out, or if you're single, that's fine too. There's 37 million people who are in this country that are single. We want you coming out and having fun. I just want everyone to have a good time, but it's very intense competition. I think a lot of times people think, oh, that's just going to be fun. It's not fun. It's fun because there's tension and it's competitive, and the players really want to win for their team and for their community, and I think that's very important. And we're very fortunate in Orange County that we have Lindsay Davenport, who was #1 in the world on more than one occasion, played Fed Cup for her country, which is international team play for her. She's won Grand Slams. She's done it all, and now she's also does commentating for Tennis Channel a ton, and she's leaving for France very soon. But she plays at least 4 or 5 times a day, a week, and she's really looking forward to this. She helped us with the draft, and we did the draft to players. We do a draft just like other team sports. The last place team gets to choose first, etc.
Okay.
And she helped get this team. She really won a Groenfield from this girl she's played with, and she's great indoors. We're indoors now, so we took that into consideration. And she really wanted Anna-Lena Groenfeld, and we weren't sure she'd be available in the draft. As you go down, and I think we were third or fourth in the draft of picking, and so you're just praying that the teams before you in the draft don't pick the one you want.
Right.
And it's always difficult. You don't always get everybody you want, but we particularly wanted Anna-Lena because Anna's really, I think they're both very powerful. She's won, the mixed doubles at Wimbledon with Knowles in 2009. She's been ranked very high. She does really well still. So we're thrilled, and it'll be her second season in WTT, World Team Tennis. So we're thrilled we got her. And the boys, we've got Travis Parrott, who's I adore as a person. He also won the mixed doubles at the U.S. Open, so he knows, and he's a great doubles player. He's from Oregon. But he did go to the University of Georgia years ago, and he was also Rookie of the Year in '08 when he played team tennis for the first time. So he's a really strong player. He's got doubles titles all over the place, and then John Patrick Smith. He's Australian, but he went to the University of Tennessee for a while. We think it's good. We like to look at former collegiate players to a point, and that now are on the tour because we feel that they really are better because we're a team. Sometimes I find players who just play tournament tennis, have never played on any like basketball or baseball or soccer or something, they don't tend to do quite as well usually or mesh as well with the team, I find. So we try to look at players who, if they did go to college, I think it's important to take a real strong look at them. You look at John Isner now, who's playing for our Boston Lobsters. He went 4 years to Georgia. Now he's the top 10 in the world, and I wish more players would go to university and college. I think it would help their lives. I think they cope better when they get back out on the ATP or the WTA tour, or if they play team tennis. I just think they just seem to be better adjusted and cope better. And you want to make sure that you're not just wanting a player to play for you. You want to make sure that you do a good job for them as a human being. And one thing about team tennis it can do is develop their game, because what happens in tournament tennis, so many players lose quickly. Like half the draw is gone after the first round. 75% of the draw is gone after 2 rounds. 75% of the draw is gone. Where in team tennis, you have to play every night. And it makes you get up. If you lost the night before, if your team lost, to get back up the next night, and you got to play. And you've got to really put out every single night, because it's not just about yourself. And we also have a bonus system where it's percentage of games won over the season. So every game in World Team Tennis is absolutely vital, not only from the team winning, but financially. It's very important. So we have team money, we have individual money. So it's really important that there's a total individual and a team incentive to try your guts out every single point. And so that's important to us as well in the league, that everyone's leaving their guts on the court every night. But I think it's very important. World Team Tennis is my philosophy on life. If you see a World Team Tennis match, you see my life, what I want for this world, and that is men and women working together. Sometimes a male's in a leadership position, sometimes a woman's in a supportive, or vice versa. Both. Sometimes, like when the mixed is playing, we have 5 sets, a set of men's and women's singles, a set of men's and women's doubles, and a set of mixed. And that way, everyone experiences leadership and supportive roles as the night goes on. And I think that's important for young boys and girls to see, that they see that men and women are helping each other, cooperating, to try to win a match that night. And you'll do the right thing to make sure that everyone's got their eye on the ball, and that is, we've got to make our team win. But we want to be good citizens of the world at the same time and learn to truly cooperate and help each other. So if you watch a World Team Tennis match, you see my philosophy on life.
Yeah, World Team Tennis is great. That is unique to tennis. There's no other sport where you could do that. Correct,
because we have both genders that are high profile.
Well, great.
I mean, we're very lucky as a sport to have both genders, and we're global. We're very fortunate as a sport. In Europe, in a lot of countries, we're the number 2 sport. And I don't think Americans have any idea how. We're probably last place now, because as popularity in this world, although we are growing as a sport, we're the only traditional sport in the United States that's actually growing. It's very interesting. And the USTA and all of us, WTT, all of us are trying to help with the 10 and under initiative. That's where the courts are smaller, the rackets are smaller, the balls don't bounce as high, because if the ball bounces too high, you start learning with the wrong grip. So it's important that we all work together, the entire community, the entire tennis community, whether it's a Grand Slam, whether it's on the WTA Tour, whether it's on the ATP. The WTA is for the women, the ATP is a tour for the men, and then WTT, we have both genders together playing on the same team.
So do you feel that you coexist well with the regular tour?
I think we do all right. I would like it to be always better. But there's always this territorial challenge that everybody has with their own, whatever they're doing. is the most important. But the tennis community, especially in the United States, needs to work together because we want to have more children playing. It's a gift of a lifetime. We have obesity in this world right now in this country that we are just, it's actually a national security risk because our soldiers, both men and women, aren't even passing boot camp. So we have pre-boot camp now. So I'm on the President's Council for Sports, for Fitness, Sports, and Nutrition.
Oh, okay. Great,
So
great.
I know I'm learning all these facts that it's just, if I can get a gift of tennis to a person, that it's a gift of a lifetime because it's a lifetime sport. I still play. It helps me, stay fit. And I think if the kids come out and, go to our kids zones that we have, I think it's, if we can just get them hooked on tennis for the rest of their lives, it'll help with obesity, help with their overall health.
For sure.
And then when they have children, they'll pass it down to their children that exercise is vital.
Absolutely. Great answer. Okay, and you answered some of my questions. So which current WTT players do you think are on the rise and have the brightest future?
Well, we have every age playing. We've got Ryan Harrison in the league this year. He's just 20, but he's one of the great hopes we have in the United States. He's playing for the Freedoms, and he's fantastic. I don't know enough of like in our junior development program and what we're trying to do. But Harrison, I would say, would be the standout this year in our league.
Okay.
But we have young players, for instance, Maria Sharapova signed up at 14. Roddick played in the old days. No, we've got a lot of people who signed up and played.
At 14, wow.
Team tennis. Also, we have Coco Vandeweghe, who's a U.S. player who's really good.
Okay.
Irina Romanova, she's another player on the... Coco plays for the Boston Lobsters. Arita plays for the Washington Castles. It's out of D.C. They're a huge team. They had a perfect season last year, and they'll be playing here the first night, by the way.
Oh, okay.
And they had they're the first team ever in 36 years of World Team Tennis. They had a perfect season. They're playing our opener on July 9th, which I suggest everybody come out and watch because they're amazing. They've got Leander Paes, who's just great to watch, but we want obviously the Breakers, the OC Breakers, to beat them really badly. But it'd be nice to beat them the first match, and then they can have a perfect season next year.
Is the key to winning it all having really good doubles players, versatile players? Yes,
because 60% of the scoring effort is doubles, so you got to win some doubles. But you want to keep the spread of each set really tight because we're cumulative scoring. Every game counts. So if you and I played mixed doubles and we lost, let's say 5-3, we played at 5, not to 6. We try to keep it moving. If you and I lost 5-3, we still get our 3 points for the team.
Right.
So it's vital every single game you are putting out total intensity.
And just a quick comment. I really think that's on the regular tour. I think that's a problem. They've downplayed the tournaments. They've downplayed everything except for the slams, which of course are very important.
The reason tennis grew so much in this country when we started professional tennis is we took tennis to the people.
Yeah.
Okay, it wasn't the tours were the thing. If you went to San Francisco or whatever. Also with team tennis, we are taking tennis to the people, to their backyard. And you have to, I'm a big believer, you have to see it to be it. So I want young people seeing, if they come out to Bryn Center, where we're playing this year, they're going to see some of the best players in the world. They're going to see, when a child says, I want to really be good or I want to be the best, what does that look like? And if you see it, you can be it. So when they come out to watch a team tennis match, they're going to see some of the best players in the world, and they're going to root for their team, but they're going to see how good they're going to have to be if they want to be a pro. And that's vital. I mean, that worked for me when I was a youngster. In L.A., we used to have this tournament when the amateur days, this is before professional, when the best players in the world will come to L.A. after the U.S. Nationals, which we know is the U.S. Open now. And because I got to see great players like Althea Gibson, Tony Trabert, all these great players, I understood if I want to be the number one player in the world, which I did as a child, then that's how good I'm going to have to be. Or I'm probably going to have to be better than that because every generation gets better.
Right.
So it's vital that we keep taking tennis to the people. Team tennis is exciting because you can get behind your city. I was watching the Lakers and the Thunder last night, and That's what I want team tennis to be. I want people to, get totally excited and for their team, not just a franchise player.
Great, great. And one thing that I've enjoyed about team tennis over the years is the fact that you can see you can see older players play at a very high level, whereas maybe they couldn't in a tournament.
Right, because they only play one set. And that makes a big, big difference. It makes a huge difference in people getting to see them, because they can go flat out. Like McEnroe's in the league. The guy in doubles can still go flat out, and he's got such good hands. He's so much better than most of the other players, like at net, and different things. I just find extraordinary how well he still can play. But, he has an academy in Randall Island where the Sport Times, that's who he plays for, New York, which he's from New York. In fact, he lives 2 blocks from where I do in New York City, and he's amazing. We're very lucky. I think we've got a lot of great players in the league. Not every great player is going to come to Orange County, because with our schedule we can't, but we've got a tremendous amount of players at every age. We've got Fish, we've got Query, we've got the Bryan brothers, we've got McEnroe, we've got Philippoussis playing. I think Philippoussis is here the last night of the season. He's with the Philadelphia Freedoms this year. So we've got unbelievable players playing. You've got Serena and Venus Williams in the league. Martina Hingis also plays for the Sport Times with McEnroe.
Oh, okay.
So, they've been there a few years now together, so it's good. And but John Isner, as I said, plays for the Boston Lobsters. So we're very fortunate they have the players. They really do try to play team tennis when they can. It's a commitment. It's not, it's a commitment. You got to give up something to, you've got choices. So we're very pleased that the players choose to play team tennis.
Great, great. And then last question. So next year is going to be your 40th anniversary.
Oh, remind me.
Of the match against Bobby Riggs.
Yeah, it's true.
Can you think of any other kind of matchup today that can generate that kind of attention for tennis? And could WTT be a facilitator for that?
Well, no, that's probably one-on-one if we're going to match up with what happened. But, they want the battle of the sexes, the girl versus the boy, which I can't stand, by the way. I like us to be together and not get into it. But just to give some people some background, I played Bobby Riggs in '73, and Title IX, which is its 40th year this year, a piece of legislation that was passed June 23rd, 1972, and that was the first time that any federal funds that go to high school or college, private or public schools, had to start for the very first time to give the money equally to boys and girls. Before that, for instance, if a woman wanted to be a doctor and she tried to enroll in Harvard, the quota was 5%. So that's why we didn't have any women doctors and lawyers. You couldn't, you had 12 girls and 500. I talked to this one woman the other day. She said, it's amazing. My mother, because she's younger, obviously, she said, there was 12 girls out of 500 in the class at these big universities. So now there's 54% enrollment with women. But to get back to your question about, do you think the excitement, in 1973 was the height of the women's movement. So I don't know if you get the same response, but I know people have been trying to get John McEnroe and Serena Williams to play. They've been trying for 15 years or 10 years to do that. I've had people come to me to try to get them to do it. I don't know what's in it except for money. For Serena, she's got a lot more on the line than John does. That's all I'm saying. It'd be a lot harder on her to make that decision.
I see.
Not for him. He's older. He loved the money, the attention. John's fantastic. We just did a cancer fundraiser through the Freedoms the other night, and he came and did that, the charity event. McEnroe's been so loyal to World Team Tennis. He's a good friend, and I appreciate when he goes beyond just playing for the team. He really shows up for other events to make a difference.
Great, great. Well, thank you very much. You've been very gracious.